Hello, my name's Charlotte from Frond and Bloom, and welcome to your DIY Christmas Wreath Kit. Today I'm going to be guiding you through step by step for making your very own Frond and Bloom Christmas wreath. So in your kit you will have one pre-mossed wreath, you'll have wire for making your bunches and then attaching your bunches to your wreath, you'll have some velvet ribbon, a few dried bits, some berries and foliage, and some pine cones. So the first step is to make your bunches that you will then attach to your wreath. I would suggest making 8 to start with, and then we can place them on the wreath and see if you need to make any more. I always start with a bit of pine at the back and then gather all the foliage together. I've got a bit of holly here that I got from my garden, so feel free to use anything that you found on your walk. I picked this up this morning with the dog, and then you're simply gonna gather it all together. And then using your wire, you're going to cut a length and then simply wrap the base of your bunch to hold all your foliage and berries in place. And then once you've made that one, you just repeat it again. All your bunches don't need to be the same. They can be a little bit different if you like. I always use some thicker pine at the back. It just helps make the wreath look fuller and that uniformity, but all your bunches don't need to be the same. You can use whatever you want in each bunch. So when you've made all your bunches, it's time to start attaching them. When you attach your bunches, it's very important that you go in one continuous direction for numerous reasons. One, it makes the wreath shape look beautiful, and two, it's really hard to do it if you're doing it this way and that way. So you place them all on just to check you've got enough, but I think with 8 that should be perfect. So first step is to attach the wire to the wreath. So this is literally just like threading a needle through fabric. You take the end of your wire and you push it through the moss until you see it on the other side, twist it off, and then literally tuck it back in. You want to keep the wire on the spool. It's very important that you attach all your bunches with one continuous length of wire. This is going to help it keep really, really strong and secure. You start by placing your first bunch where you want it. I always start just at the top. You want to attach the bunch at a slight angle, so the end of the bunch facing in with your lovely frilly bit at the top. And you literally, like making the bunches, wrap the wire around. Do it a couple of times until it feels secure, and there is your first bunch attached. Do not cut the wire, leave it on the spool. And then you simply get your next bunch, so you can pick whichever one you want. I think I'm going to go for this one with a bit of lime in. Again, I'm slightly placing it on an angle, and I'm just overlapping it on the first bunch. The more overlapped, the fuller and thicker the bunch will be, and your final wreath will be. So if I'm just going to place it there, and then simply start wrapping. And then actually, once you've attached your second bunch, you'll see quickly the shape of your wreath. There's no right or wrong when it comes to wrapping. You just do it as many times as you think it needs to be. So when you're attaching your final bunch, it will be a little bit tricky because you're having to kind of just put it underneath the first bunch, but you wrap your final bunch a few times and you give yourself about a 30 centimetre length of wire, just enough that you're not trying to do this with a short piece because it always makes it harder. So the next thing, to finish it off, you want to thread it like a needle and thread. So you're basically doing it exactly the way you attach the wire initially. So you just poke the end through the moss, bring it up, thread it back on itself and pull it tight. If you've ever fixed a hole in socks or anything like that, or threaded a needle, you'll be able to do this. And do that a few times, just so the wire is really, really secure on the base of the wreath. And then you simply cut your excess wire. Your wreath is done, so simply place it down, have a look. You might need a little bit of tweaking here and there. You might have a few bits of wire that you can see, so just fluff it out and job's a good one. All your bunches are attached. So the next step I'm going to show you is entirely optional, but it's if you want to add pine cones. You simply need to wire your pine cones first, take a length of wire, wrap it around the base of the pine cone, twist it off like you have been doing with your bunches all the way through, and then you'll end up with 2 lengths of wire, and those are ready to attach. So once you've wired up your pine cones, it's time to attach them. Now there is no right or wrong way to do this. You just need to look at your wreath and decide where you'd like them, if you'd like them anywhere at all, and place them simply on. So you've got your 2 ends of wire, So they simply go either side of your wreath. You kind of just have to shimmy them through, pull both ends round, and then twist your wire off like you have been doing with your bunches before. And once it's twisted and secure enough, you just tuck that wire back in the moss and hide it. Have a look at where you've placed it. Make sure you can't see any of your wire, so you might need to fluff a bit of your foliage out, and it's finished. So the final stage is to attach your ribbon. So you've cut your length of ribbon. Now you can either have a big bow or you could just do a streamer. For this one, I'm going to place a streamer in the center. So you simply check your length of your ribbon. Again, your trusty wire. Take a decent length. Don't cut yourself too short a length because that just makes it hard for yourself. Place the wire in the center of the ribbon. Twist so it's attached. And again, just like you've been twisting your pine cones, find the top, place one side of wire down one side, one down the other. Again, simply twist until it's nice and secure, and then tuck your wire end back in. Check all your ribbons out. And then you're done. Finished. I hope you've enjoyed working through this kit. Be sure to tag me if you share any photos. I'd love to see all your hard work, and that leaves nothing more to say but a very Merry Christmas.